Okay, so this is our first lesson, day 4, of course, of our class. We're going to be talking about solving equations and inequalities. And here's our objective. I definitely want you to know what you're supposed to learn today, so I'd like you to say this out loud together. Ready? And begin. I will solve one variable equations and inequalities, graph the solutions, and interpret them. Okay, so the standard we're doing, you don't have to write this down, but this is just for your information. This is what you need to know anyways, solve one variable equations and inequalities. So that's basically what we're doing. So something you need to know, and you actually should know this already. This is kind of like I'm teaching again, a little bit harder numbers, and there's kind of basic foundational stuff we need to know for the year as we move on to the harder stuff for Algebra 2. Okay? Steps are on the board on the right. And two big ideas here. We have equations and inequalities. Equations have the equal sign at the, when you think of an equation, you should think of like the equal sign. And when you think of inequalities, you should think of these kinds of signs right here. Okay? Inequality sign. All right? Okay, so if you're on the video right now, you should pause the video and write these steps down. And alright, so these are the steps. Big idea here is that we have equations and inequalities. We want to find what the answer is, okay? So I'm going to move forward here. So with my lessons, I want to make sure you understand how I roll with it. I need you guys and girls to focus at what I'm doing on numbers 1 and 2. That means pencils down right now. I need everyone's eyes up here, pencils down. I don't want you to take notes because you'll take notes in a few minutes. I want you to stare at what I'm doing because that's going to help you remember it. Sometimes students are taking notes while I'm teaching, and then they miss stuff. They miss the point, and then it's like, oh, I forgot. So it's really important you stare at it. Then I'm going to have you guys talk about it with your groups, and then you're going to get to write about it in your notes. So you won't miss anything. I just want to make sure you're staring at what I'm doing, okay? And again, these are types of problems that you've done before. So number 1, we got -8 times the quantity of b plus 7 minus b is all equal to -119. So I want to figure out the solution of b. What is b equal to? So I want to isolate b. Well, the problem here is that I have b inside of this parentheses and it's on the outside. I need to combine like terms somehow. So I'm going to think of doing backwards orders of operations. So I'm thinking not PEMDAS, but figuring if there's any subtraction signs, addition, division, multiplication, exponents of parentheses. And I want to combine these like terms before I even apply this. So I have -8 times b. I'm going to distribute -8 here, -8 times b, and -8 times positive 7. So -8 times b is -8b. -8 times positive 7 is -56. Bring down the -b, which is all equal to -119. Okay? Now I got rid of the parentheses. Now I can start combining like terms. We got -8b and -b is going to be equal to -9b. Bring down the rest of the problem. Okay? That's getting a little easier, right? Now I'm thinking, I want to get this b by itself. I think, are there any subtraction signs by the b? Well, this -9 is being multiplied by the b, so that's not really subtract. But this b is being subtracted by -56. Does that make sense? So what's the opposite of subtract 56? Add 56 on both sides. I want to do the opposite, to undo things. So I'm adding 56 to both sides. When I do that, I rebalance my equation. -9b I didn't do anything with. I'm going to bring that down. -56 and positive 56 cancels out. Bring down the equal sign. -119 plus positive 56 is -63. Okay, so I have to be careful with my signs now. Then I'm going to divide both sides by -9. That's the only thing that's left because -9 is being multiplied by b. Eyes up here. Okay, so I'm dividing both sides by -9. So we got b is equal to positive 7. Okay, we've done this before. The next thing you're going to do that I'm going to require you to do for this homework also is to graph the solution on a number line, because that's something you need to know how to do and know how to read it too. So take a number line. Always start with 0 someplace so you have some context. So I know 7 is positive, so it's going to be to the right of 0, so I'm going to draw some lines. I don't have to number all the lines. I could just number like 0 and 5. So if I know that's 5, I just do 2 more to get to 7, right? And then I know my solution is 7, so I'm going to circle 7 and fill it in. That's my solution. Now I want to interpret this. What does this mean when I see this? Okay, what does this mean? This means that the only solution is 5. Okay? The only solution is 5. So I want you to write, or I'm sorry, solution is 7. I'm sorry. The only solution is 7. I know I said 5. It's because I was thinking 5 here. Does it make sense so far? Okay?
In the first part, how did you go from -8b to -9b?
Because I had two like terms, -8b, and then there's one -b here.
Oh, it's b.
Yeah. Yes?
Are you going to want us to write the only solution is 7 under the graph, the line?
Yeah, on each problem, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see it on the next one too. Okay? Yeah. Because I want you to know that there's only one solution here. Does that make sense? Or if you saw a graph here, I want you to know that there's only one solution. It's 7. You got it? Okay, so the next one. We have 8x minus 7 times the quantity 7 plus 7x is less than or equal to -131. Okay? Same idea here. I want to isolate my variable. So I have x's here, and there's an x inside the parentheses. So I'm going to have to do some distributing. So this problem is kind of stuck up here. I'm going to have to rewrite it. So let me just rewrite the problem. It's number 2. So I'm just rewriting it. I just want to make some space for me to work. Okay? Okay, so that's me rewriting it. So I want to distribute this -7. It's not just not just 7. It's -7. I'm distributing -7 into both of these terms inside the binomial. So -7 times 7 is going to be -49, and -7 times 7x is -49x. So I got 8x minus 49 minus 49x is less than or equal to -131. Okay, makes sense so far? Okay. Then I want to do the same thing like I did on number 1. I got 8x and I got -49x. They're on the same side of the equation, so I could combine like terms. Okay, so 8x minus 49x is -41x. Then I bring the rest of the problem down. Then I think about the next step. Again, I could think of it like this, SAD MEP, right? Are there any subtraction signs by the x? Yeah, it's -49. The opposite is add 49 to both sides. Got -41x is less than or equal to -82. Okay? This step, really look up here. This is a reminder from before. I'm going to have to divide both sides by -41, right? Okay, when you divide or multiply by a negative on both sides, this inequality is going to flip. Okay? So instead of it being less than or equal to, I'm going to flip it. Eyes up here so you don't forget. I'm flipping this because I'm dividing both sides by a negative. And I would do the same thing if I multiply both sides by negative. If this was positive, then I wouldn't flip it. Okay? When I do that, I get x is greater than or equal to 2. Okay?
So is it only when there's two negatives being divided?
It's only when you divide both sides by a negative or multiply both sides by a negative. Okay? Let me finish the problem and I'll take questions, okay? So now I'm going to graph this, okay? Just like I did on number 1, I'm going to make a graph. In this case, it's provided for me, so I'm going to go back to the original problem, and I'm going to go to 2. Okay, and I'm circling it first, and I think x is greater than or equal to 2. So since it's greater than, I'm going to point the arrow to the right, because I'm saying any solution to the right is a solution. And then it's also equal to, so I'm taking my circle and I'm filling it, okay? Then I have to interpret this answer. What does that mean? Okay. This means that the solution could be any range of numbers including 2 or greater than 2. So 2 is an answer, 3 is an answer, 4 is an answer, a million's an answer, a billion's an answer. It's a range of numbers. It's not just one solution, but there is a range of solutions. Okay? Questions? So Dolly, you had a question? Did you figure it out? Okay, cool. Questions on numbers 1 and 2? Raise your hand if this looks familiar from before. You've done this before and this feels comfortable. Okay, a lot of you, right? So I just want to make sure you got this. So let's have your group talk. Did I talk to you about group numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Did I talk about that in this class? Okay. So number 3, okay? So number 3. Let's write down number 3, please. I'm going to put SAD map down, backwards orders of operations, in case anyone wants to reference that as we go. Okay? So we'll do this one mostly together and then you'll finish it up. So number 3, is this an equation or an inequality? Tell your neighbor. How do you know? Good, equal sign, right? So how many answers will I have? Will I have only one solution or one range of solutions? Good, one solution, good, excellent, okay? So turn to your neighbors on your table. Describe what strategy you're going to use to solve this. Okay, good. So I heard something like people saying distribute, combine like terms. Okay, so let's start with that. I'm going to distribute the 2 into there. So I got 2 times 1 is 2, and then 2 times -7 is -14, but we have a v there. We've got -3. Bring that down, equal sign, and 97. Okay? The next thing I want to do is combine like terms. So I have this -3 and 2. That becomes -1 minus 14v is equal to 97. Okay, what should I do after this? Add 1 to both sides. Great. Add 1 to both sides. So you got -14v is equal to -98. Okay. Finish up the problem for me and then show me your final answer. You don't have to write the sentence or the graph. I just want to see the final answer. But on your homework, you will do that. Okay. Okay, so the answer is -7, right? So if I were to draw a graph here, I would start with 0, go to -7, circle it, and fill it in, right? Talk to your neighbors or group, and give me a this means statement. What does this solution mean, or this graph mean? This means what? Okay? It's important that you're able to articulate what the answer is. When you take the CASP or SBAC, you're going to have to write words. It's not just like math. It's like you having to type stuff out, and it's hard, okay? So that's why we're practicing this all year, because it's super important, okay? Number 4, let's talk to our group. Well, let's write this down first, and then let's talk to our group about a strategy, okay? So even though it's a decimal, don't freak out. We got -0.1k and -4.4k. So we're going to combine like terms, which is going to be -4.5. Oh boy, sorry about that. My bad. Oops. And there's your answer. My bad. Whoop. Is it k squared? Are we multiplying k times k? No, we're just subtracting. It's like saying I have a little 0.1 carrot, like you eat carrots, Bugs Bunny, right? Eats carrots. So I got -0.1 carrots, and then I got -4.4 carrots. So we're subtracting, right? Which ends up adding in this case. Okay, so answers, work out the answers, please. In case you want help on how to divide, this is how you divide. You take the dividend, and then you take the divisor and divide it into it. So we have a decimal. How do we deal with a decimal? Quick reminder, there's 1 here, and the dividend, divisor, 4.5. We're going to move it over to the right 1 space to put it at the end. So whatever I do here, I have to do also on the inside and on my answer. So make sure to put that then. 45 goes into 198 how many times? A little bigger. Too big. 4 times. Good. 4 times 45 is 180. Bring that down. I get 4.4. Okay. Answers up. Let me see. Yep. Oh, is it negative or positive? Let's see. Let's finish it up for me. Okay.
Negative.
I wanted to show that just as a. Answers up. Answers up. Answers up. Answers up. Answers up. Answers up. Okay, good. It's -4.4. Okay. Now, if you were to graph this, okay. If you were to graph this, I'm starting at 0. I'm going to the left, and I'm going to put a dot between 0 and 5, kind of in the middle there, right? You see that? And then, of course, it's only one solution. I think we're doing really well. Let's do another one, okay? So we did equations. What do you notice about number 5? Tell your neighbors what you notice about this one. Okay, so what's that called? Equation or inequality? Good. So will your solution be one exact answer, or will it be one range of answers? Good. Thank you. Excellent. So you can talk to your neighbors about a strategy if you like. And then work it out. Go. Okay, so here you go. The answer is P is greater than -4. Okay, a lot of people got that right. So P is greater than -4, and we know that the solution of this inequality is a range of solutions. We already said that are only greater than -4. Is -4 a solution then? Can it be a solution? Okay, listen to my question carefully. Eyes up here. Can -4 be a solution to this? Is it? Yeah. Okay, I watch. You guys are confused. Is -4 one of my solutions? No. What is the solution? The solution has to be greater than -4. Does that mean that -4 is a possible solution? No, it'd be wrong. Does that make sense? Okay, good. That's it. We're done with that. So when we're done, just wipe down your boards and put them neatly in the center with the markers. And that concludes the lesson.